Alright guys, this is Doc M with another Minecraft video, and today guys we wanna do a little tutorial. I asked in episode 11 of the Minecraft World Tour if you guys would be interested in a tutorial for the cave spider spawner system I use in here. A lot of comments said yes, of course Doc, do it. So for all of you guys who don't know the system yet, we got the cave spider spawner up in front. And we bring the spiders down in our collection area and it goes really quick. See, there's some nice water streams that sucks them away real quick, and thus we have decent spawning rates inside the spawner. We can turn it off with a light switch here, and yeah, when we trapped enough, I think it's good enough, we just close the lever here. And if we want now, we can keep on spawning spiders while we work down there. I have a little door here to get down that is not really part of the system. But here is the killing chamber. The killing chamber is equipped with a crusher at the moment. It is not timed, but it's pretty easy to turn that into a timed crusher. So you just stand on there and weaken them a bit. See, the first one's dropping. You can go there and one punch them so they die. Easy way to collect lots of string, of course, and an easy way to get a decent flow of XP. Talking about XP, you can see the XP is up there now. Also some other, the loot. You could either just stand here and jump a bit and grab the stuff, you know, or use the pusher here to push it ahead. You will grab the stuff, but for XP it's a bit more complicated. You can see it, it's resting up there and will chase us, so we included this system. Just press the button here, open the collection area and close it again, and I just stepped on the light. So let's have a look again, opening and closing. Yeah, and that is the spider XP farm. It's a nice farm when you start a fresh world. Eventually, you know, you'll need a lot of strings if you want to make other traps, for example with tripwires, and it is an easy way to get XP in the beginning. You saw I just killed a few spiders and already gained a few more XP levels. So I'd say let's jump right into it. So we're in the latest snapshot in one of the test worlds here. That is the redstone preset, and I imported a cave spider spawner into this world here with MC edit. So one thing all these spawner designs have in common: you need to figure out the right area where to put your box, you know, the spawning area. It's an 8x8 box around this spawner, but you need to figure out how it is positioned. So first up, you always start with that X shape here, diagonally out, and then you need to figure out the correct direction. If you look at the F3 coordinates up there now, X, Y, Z, when I jump you can see the Y coordinate change. You need to figure out the direction where X and Z is getting smaller. So let's see. Yeah, we found it. Look, X is getting smaller and Z, it's 147 now, and we're getting smaller. So both, if you figured out that corner, attach another block to that. Just like that, extend it, and that will give you the 8x8 area around the spawner you need. If you go like around the corner now, you can knock this out. Just connect. You will see you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wide area, and that is the spawnable area around one of these spawners. So let's complete our square here and we can continue. Just go around like this, and you'll end up with a nice 8x8. So if you look at our square now, you can see our spawner is of course not in the middle, but in this design, for symmetry reasons, we want to have a symmetrical cube around our spawner. So yeah, if you look at it now, I have this yellow wool to mark out the middle. You can definitely see the right side here is longer. So one last thing before we can get into the actual build and we're done with the measuring out, is extending the whole construction on one side and make it a 9 by 9, but making it symmetrical. If you want to save some space, that's why I showed you how to measure it out correctly. You could also have it smaller and not symmetrical. In vanilla Minecraft, of course, you would have some torches around to prevent cave spiders spawning, and you would make sure to put a block on top of the spawner. The reason for that is cave spiders would spawn on top here and then just sit there and ruin your efficiency. Next up, the lighting system. I used glowstone lamps for that, the glowstone or redstone lamps. Put one in here. Now it's time for the ceiling, and we need to make sure to give the spiders enough spawning space. So go one block up and connect for now right to the middle. Square shape, just like that. That is the ceiling. Make sure to give them enough space. That is all spawnable area for the cave spider spawner. So next up we need to think about more light. So fill in the corners here a bit. Then we should be able to put in our next glowstone lanterns. And if you put them here, here, and here, you should have definitely enough light in here to prevent all the spawning. And yeah, last step is just to fill in the roof. And about the redstone wiring, we're gonna worry later, but it's gonna be very simple. I try to keep it as simple as possible. So let's finish this up real quick. And that's the roof part. Well, after you're done with the roof, just add walls. 4 high, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way around. Put in a floor, just like this, and you'll end up with a nice spawning box. And now you can already put in the water. You need 2 buckets. Place one here, skip one block, the next one. That will form an infinite source here. And this way you can only use 2 buckets, then grab one source from the middle and keep on going. And by doing this you can extend the water source all the way and make sure it flows right to that edge here. When you got that, well, you need the final parts of the wall. Leave a 1 high gap here so the spiders can actually make it through. And just close it up in front. You might leave it open at the side somewhere. I suggest you have a little entry here on the back for the last stage of the build. And yeah, close it off, and that basically gives you the cave spider's basic setup or spawner setup. Such a cell can be used for all types of spawners. You may have to modify the collection system, but that is the basic shape, extended by 1 to make it symmetrical. If you want to create infinite spawning from one of these spawners, you need to know one of the basic rules. That means within 15 blocks or a radius of 15 blocks, a spawner will be active. If you take mobs more than 8 blocks away, it will keep on spawning. If you keep them within a radius of 8 blocks around the spawner, there's a cap, and you will not be able to spawn, I don't know, 500,000 or how many you ever want to get. So keep that in mind. You need to go at least 8 blocks away from the spawner. So if we go inside now, let's do this, we can count it out. The spawner is sitting here to the wall. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. Plus the wall makes 5, 6, 7, 8. So make it 1 block further, 9. So at least to this spot we need to transport the spiders to. You could leave this block here as a little guideline, and it'll help you later on with the orientation of the trap, just so you get a little feel for it. I moved the wool block over 1 block so it's in the middle, and what you would do next is you extend around the button here. We want to create a water trench, and we want to have it 2 deep. So yeah, 2 high drop, and then we need the floor. Very simple. We want to have a 2 high drop so the spiders don't bump into each other when they fall down. And now we can make sure to close that off just like this, and that would complete the basic collection slot. Make sure to maybe put another row of blocks in here, but we will do that later to block off vision. You will see they can drag you through that corner, but in fact the way we set up the collection for this trap, it's not too bad. Well, next up we create some walls here, and we make sure to leave a 3 wide gap in the middle. We want to use a 3 wide gap because that will speed up our transport. Yeah, and then we just extend the platform here. We will see how far the water can make it. So just go like this and drop in the water. 1 source block to the left and 1 source block to the right. And that will transport our spiders away real quickly. So close off the sides, and we see the water ends up here, so we need to add a drop here to push them further. But if we look, actually our wool block is exactly on top of the hole here. That means if we collect them down here in a pit, we would be far enough away. Just spawned a squid, as this is the only water source all the way around. I just removed the torches inside and did put down a glass block here so we can observe. For you, if you do that in vanilla, I would suggest you leave the torches in until the last moment. But yeah, I want to demonstrate some stuff, so I knocked them out already. I'm on peaceful at the moment. As I said, it would be good enough to bring them away until here, but it's always good to have some leeway. So we see the water ends here, so we definitely need to extend our platform, and that should start right there. So go down and extend forward, just like that. 2 more blocks, and then put in the sides, just like this, and then we knock that out. You see right now it's not connected. Let's see if we can update it. There we go. So by doing this, you create this nice little drop here. That's actually pretty helpful because the spiders kind of get sucked into that and get transported away pretty fast. Next up, of course, we need to stop the water from flowing. To do this, we create a simple ring around it, just like that, and now we use some signs to block the water, and we end up with a nice drop just here where we can collect the spiders. So let's finish the job, and yeah, you can use glass if you want to see the movement of the spiders. I suggest you use something dark, to really cover it up, but for test purposes we could use glass here and see they flow correctly. And now you may need to make sure the spiders have enough room to move, so you cannot put glass in there, but you could definitely block it off here. They have a room to move. They need at least a 1 high clearance to be able to move. And yeah, by now we still leave our wool block in there just for orientation purposes. That's about it, and now we could basically give it the first test run and see if we can collect some spiders. Okay, first test run here, and we can see spiders are collecting nicely. I made it nighttime at the moment, so the sunlight doesn't interfere here too much. If you would have that in a cave, so really make sure not to spam torches. You want to have it, best is pitch black. You don't even want to have this window here, best. But yeah, for today, for the tutorial, it is okay. I have it in my world too as well, but yeah, in the cave around it's pretty dark, so it's not interfering. And yeah, this is your basic collection spot, you would stand right here and you can see a lot of spiders are flowing up and are starting to gather down there. And yeah, this is just what we want. So, bats. So let's start with the redstone, the pistons, the crusher, and the fun part. This thing is turning into the best squid farm ever. I need to get a sword here. What the heck? Yeah, the small things. Okay, so you see this is the drop. We got 2 blocks here. We definitely need some room below. So dig out a bit. Few blocks. You know, we might have to adjust that later on. It depends a bit on how your situation is in your cave. But yeah, just pick this location here because we have a nice overview about all parts. Oh man. Uh, okay, now we need to. First thing we want to do is our shutdown mechanism. We want to close it right here. So we need to have some kind of a way to attach our pistons. We want to do that. Put them in like that, and I'm gonna use the light wood here so we can see it. So this is how you would do it. Knock these out for now and to power them from on top. First row of pistons, and then of course we would have our crusher, and yeah, the crusher would go here. So again, sticky pistons, put them in like that, and for that one we're gonna use the jungle wood. So closing pistons, crusher pistons. The next thing we want to do is to create our movable iron bar. Well, we got the crusher and pusher set up here, so the iron bar needs to go right there. Dig out these 2 spaces to the left and to the right, and now it's time to work with pistons again. So on this side 1 block, and directly behind that 1 sticky piston, and on the other side almost the same, but we leave 1 air gap, and then we throw in a normal piston. And now it's time to wire that up. Let's have a look from on top. So I closed off the walls here a bit and prepared these slots. You can see it just pointing directly towards the piston. You could use 1 more block in here to save up on some redstone. That should work. Also connect the other side, basically the same thing. And yeah, let's give it a test run. Okay, so closed state, we want to open. Works, we could collect the XP. Want to close, works as well. So simple and doesn't use much redstone at all. Well, let's think about the closing mechanism. What you could do, but as I said, it's not a must. Fill it in like that, all the way around, so it looks a bit more clean. And we can also knock out the spool block now. I think we understood how the distance needs to be set up. And yeah, I'd say we use one of these blocks here to mark out our best spot to stand on. This is a very good spot, and we'll collect the spiders nicely down there. And yeah, now you could think about more wire. So let's put in the floor like this, and we're gonna keep it super simple for the close-up mechanism. I mean, you could have a lever here in the wall and then just go down. Let me get the block and extend like this, you know, and go up. But for the tutorial purposes now, we're just gonna throw the lever on here. Let's get one, and that should do the trick. Put it there, put some redstone down, and now you should already have your closing mechanism. Test it, close the door, spiders are trapped. Just perfect. Also very simple to do. Last but not least, we need to take care of the crusher setup. It's also going to be very simple. Yeah, that's what I like to do in my tutorials. I like to show you the principles, and I love when you people, pick it up and extend. You can do crazy stuff with that. You can have a time crusher. You can have dispensers shooting out potions and so on. But yeah, for the base design, just go behind the whole contraption here where you have your pistons and make sure to attach some blocks behind the pistons and dig out this little slot. And throw in torches here and more torches there. We invert the signal again. Default now is piston retracted. Next up, behind the design, and I marked it out with a wood block here so you can find it easier. You put a pressure plate and yeah, simply connect it. You can use different tricks. I'm just gonna use repeaters here and connect it. Voila, that's it. That's the crusher. So now we got the pressure plate in there, and if we step forward, crusher moves out and kills him. I chose this version here because it has not that much delay and you can time it nicely and count. If you wanted to connect that to a time crusher, well, you would just not connect these repeaters right here. You would have a delay circuit, and work with that with an RS knowledge, best RS knowledge, and then have a repeater ledge going around with about, I think you need 24 repeaters, but I'm not quite sure. You have to test it out and then have an RS knowledge set up, self-resetting, timed, or use another timer, but this is where you could connect it. And yeah, for the finishing touches, you should definitely close off your walls a bit so no spiders would escape. Just like that. And what I did here in the collection room, because right now it's still dangerous, spiders would be able to escape. I took some stars. Let's grab some jungle wood stars, and I collected quite some ink sacs by now. And yeah, did put them in. Let me think. They must go this way. Nope, wrong. Messed it up. This way. Alright, and then have more half slabs to cover up the pistons. Just like that, and then you extend your room. Ceiling here. And you'll end up with a decent room. What I did, as here is the collection spot, right there I had a drop down. So you'd extend up, and if you drop you could have a ladder, or as I did, a little more fancy. But yeah, you could come down with the ladder here. Let's finish it up. And we should have a nice cave spider spawner. Make sure to have it lit up below here, or use half slabs, to prevent spawning, to be safe. And yeah, we could give it a go. Switch it over to hard mode, and let's see what we get from our farm. Squid, that's for sure. The finishing touches for the farm is the lighting. Well, and up on top we had our glowstone lanterns. Just put down some redstone. You see it right there. One in the middle. Block to cap it off. Lever. This is where you could connect it. That will trigger all the glowstone lanterns, and you could turn it on and off. And now let's quickly go to survival mode and see how the farm works. Yeah, so quickly made it night, back to day. Why isn't that zombie burning? Yeah, so there you can see it. We can collect them. One more hint. If you have some issues and see some spiders hanging around there, you see that? Whoops, they're tracking you through that corner. So always keep in mind, if I can make it there, I can show you. Right here, this edge, either use some blocks, stairs or half slabs or whatever you have to block their vision so they can't drag you through this corner here. So definitely on top of that ledge, put something so they don't see you. That will definitely speed up the collecting and farming of them, because I saw that they see you here and they kind of hang out a bit. We don't want that. Yeah, and when you're satisfied with your collection results, go down for 5, 6, 7, 8. Crush them a bit. Was a bit too short here. Alright. And you should be able to easily get some XP. Use our sword here. That'll do the trick in any case. Okay, all that. Loot collection. Step on the pressure plate. XP collection. Have to farm for a while. Just grab it here. Close it off. Go back up again. And keep on farming. And that's it. That concludes the tutorial for the cave spider farm. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like, helps me a lot, you know the drill. Share, all this stuff. And thanks a lot for all your support as usual, guys. And finally he starts to burn and die. I'm out. Bye bye.